Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, Magnetic Reversal News, Shinrin Yoku, and Yurt Life, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Monday, January 22nd, 8 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. We are waiting on a geomagnetic storm due to a plasma filament eruption and a CME headed our way. Nothing has developed, although multiple M flares, including an M2 and an M3.4, also have been popping off the sun. The big story, a major 7.0 earthquake hits China, Kyrgyzstan border. Keep calm, it's boom time. More than 90 dead after fierce U.S. winter storms. A total of 92 weather-related fatalities have been recorded across the country over the past week, according to a tally maintained by CBS and the BBC's U.S. partner. While the death toll has been greatest in Tennessee with at least 25 dead, and Oregon, fatalities have also been reported in Mississippi, Illinois, and Pennsylvania. But good news, the extreme cold snaps could get worse due to a warming world. Yeah, climate instability could be distorting the polar vortex. It's global warming. It's your fault causing the cold air outbreaks. The only problem with that is back in the 1970s, in Science News in 1975, they blamed meridional flow, or the breakdown of the jet stream, on global cooling and the ice age. Now, the difference between zonal and meridional flow has nothing to do with carbon dioxide or humans. It has to do with the sun and the solar cycles. Back in the 60s and the early 70s, it was weak cycle 20, which caused our jet stream to break down, just like weak cycle 24 and 25 in the last 2 decades. But they're not actually going to teach you about the science. They're going to fearmonger about fake news. Now, we give you the facts here. This year's avalanches are piling up. Holy macaroni. Since the season began on October 1st, Colorado has experienced 2,000 avalanches. Of those, 905 in the past week account for 45% of all the avalanches. A good chunk of the avalanches that have been recorded in the last week were a byproduct of a series of storms that came through around Martin Luther King weekend. The number of avalanches is not surprising given the amount of snow that fell and the fact that global warming causes more snow and a colder world. Shut up, Al! Get your hole! He said he agrees with that. Here's the forecast. Ice accumulations across the plains and Mississippi Valley. Excessive rainfall along the Gulf Coast, active weather in the west. Freezing rain producing ice accumulations will continue through this evening across portions of the plains, Mississippi Valley, and Ohio Valley. Heavy rainfall and thunderstorms will develop across the Gulf Coast and lower Mississippi Valley today through Thursday, with flooding possible. Meanwhile, an active weather pattern continues on the West Coast with heavy rain and mountain snow expected. And we're going to get to those forecasts in a minute. Let's take a look at the MLS, rain and frozen. You can see that ice storm moving up through the Ohio River Valley there into Indiana, maybe Michigan. And it is going to be all snow by Tuesday. That's their lose day. Tuesday into Wednesday, that snow is going to push through the Northeast with a lot of moisture on the backside, washing away any of the global warming goodness that came before. And that another nor'easter will move up through the end of the week, Friday, and into Saturday for the Northeast as another system moves into the west. Let's take a look at the total snowfall from these systems. Here is Tuesday through Wednesday. You can see heavy snow moving through Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, the Great Lakes region, northern PA, and the Northeast will be picking up some snow as the west will kick into gear here on Wednesday as snow moves all the way down to the Rocky Mountain front by Friday. And that's going to bring snow to the Four Corners region, down into Arizona and New Mexico, with snow all the way down the Sierra Spine as well, including the Pacific Northwest. The snow system is going to moderate through the end of the month everywhere in the West except for the Northeast like a beast. Take a look at these totals piling up as we enter February, where we are praying for the models to shift because the end of January is looking very warm for the West. Meanwhile, in Turkey, they're experiencing 5 meters of snow, especially in Hakkari. That's 16.4 feet, which is, well, quite a feat. Take a look. This guy just dealing with the daily 10-footer that just happened. Trying to keep his sheeps alive, as they say in Turkey. Beyu Kirkin Zenji Sheepalayer. That's not actually how they say it. You can always get live updates at Oppenheimer Ranch Project at Time in the Dave on our Twitter feed, where we share more than what we show on the show. Wow. How about that? We're now at 8,000 followers. That's awesome. Looking to get to 10,000 followers by spring. Ding, ding. Now the USGS map shows, well, it's been updated. It has been updated for over a decade, but now it's showing where dangerous earthquakes are most likely to appear. And there has been some updates in the Pacific Northwest around the Puget Sound. Unfortunately, those living in Washington State have a rude awakening, as well as other regions that are in the red. If you're in the red, get out of Dodge. That's all I can say. As a major 7.0 earthquake hits China in the Kyrgyzstan border, the earthquake was registered just after 2 a.m. local time in China's Xinjiang region. Tremors were felt in Kyrgyzstan as well as Kazakhstan. How do you like them apples? The U.S. Geological Survey warned of widespread damage and potentially deaths. Local media in New Delhi and India reported strong tremors in the city 1,400 kilometers away, but no deaths have been reported as of yet, or destruction, which is good news. I imagine that will shift in the coming time. Seismic update, there's that boomer. That's 7 magnitude, originally a 7.2, downgraded to 7 by the USGS. Multiple aftershocks, including the largest of 5.8, happening over the last 12 hours. Worldwide, no other quakes of note, pretty moderate activity for the most of the world. As we are keeping a close eye on the Reykjanes Peninsula for an impending eruption, seismicity has gone dead over the last 4 or 5 hours, with tremor spiking. That's bad news, because when tremor spikes, earthquakes happen. Good news is this isn't vertical, and it looks like maybe just any other typical cycle. So we're keeping a close eye on the Reykjanes Peninsula for impending eruptions. Speaking of eruptions, take a look at the massive eruption occurring at the volcano today, and we're talking about Merapi in Indonesia. Massive hot avalanches. Look at this house and look what's happening behind it. Holy macaroni. A massive eruption occurred at the volcano shortly after noon yesterday. At around 13:55 local time, a very large glowing avalanche known as pyroclastic flow descended from the active lava dome at the summit crater, creating quite the spectacular boom. Merapi puffing and passing to 12,000 after the event, Santiaguito to 14. We've got Popo to 19 today, Sangay to 20,000, Sabancaya to 23,000, and more puffs to 12,000 from Merapi, as we keep a close eye on the volcanoes for you. Geomagnetic storms could make northern lights visible in New Hampshire this week. Maybe not. Yeah, we're keeping a close eye on space weather news. Here is Solar Ham space weather for today, January 22nd, 2024. Al Gore's aboard. You can see the 3-day geomagnetic forecast predicting G6 for the next 2 days potentially, but the KP has barely budged above 3.7. How do you like them apples? Estimated planetary index at one location now not even hitting 4. And that's because telemetry hasn't budged much. And so we're keeping a close eye on the solar wind, as maybe this was a passing of the beginning of that CME, but we're still waiting for the bulk of the shock wave. The good news is KP is not expected to get above 6, but currently Aurora Watch is pathetic. Now, this is all because we're waiting for a destabilized plasma filament in the CME that was predicted by NASA as well as NOAA to be hitting us, well, tonight, and it just hasn't arrived yet. So I see a slight rise here, so maybe cross your fingers for aurora in the next few hours. Now, more good news. We have a total solar eclipse coming April 8th, 2024. We also have a new sponsor that just very well may save your life for the lowest price. So stay tuned in a few minutes and we'll get to that. The total solar eclipse in North America, April 8th, 2024, is coming very rapidly. And here we have an amazing GIF animation of totality and how it will move across North America. If you're anywhere from Texas, the nexus of the schmexus, all the way up to Maine, it's insane. You may get a glimpse of this total solar eclipse. I think the second one in the last decade of significance, but this one is going to happen at apogee instead of perigee. It's going to happen at perigee instead of apogee, which means the totality is going to be insane. Yeah, it's going to be one for the times, and it doesn't happen for a very long time after that. Here is the path of the 2024 total solar eclipse across the United States. It begins down here in Texas, the nexus of the schmexus, and moves its way starting at 1:30 CDT all the way across to Maine, ending about 3 hours later, 4:35 p.m. ADT. So anywhere in this path, you will get a good glimpse of totality. And you don't have to be actually in there. You could be anywhere within 200 miles on either side and still have quite a good eclipse experience, albeit not totality, which is the big winner, chicken dinner, by the way. Now, space mysteries. Why do Earth's magnetic poles flip? That is the pressing question. Well, they don't flip that often, about a periodicity of every million years. The last magnetic pole flip on Earth was 780,000 years ago. But what does happen quite often, in fact, on a millennial scale, are magnetic excursions. The magnetic field actually fluctuates on the periodicity of milliseconds and years, as well as weeks and months, millennia, and tens of thousands of years and millions of years. And each of them has different effects. Our magnetic field is affected by the power of the sun, and our magnetic field is also affected by the rotation of the core. Now, the liquid outer core is probably iron, but the inner core is unknown, and it's probably not solid iron or nickel or any of those. It's probably a plasmoid that we know very little about because we know very little about cosmology, including gravity, which is a made-up mathematical construct that shifts locally, so it's not real. What we know is we don't know, and that's why Earth's magnetic poles flip. Because there's probably some external source powering our sun which affects the power that enters our planet. And at a regular periodicity, it resonates. Maybe 26,000 years, maybe 100,000 years. It's obvious there's 104,000 years in the Ice Age record. Not so much the other smaller cycles. So at any moment, the magnetic field could shift drastically. And we've been watching over the past 100 years a rapid decline in the magnetic field. So we've entered deep into the next magnetic excursion, which means bad things on Earth. Now, good things coming. What happens to your body when you chew one clove every day? Well, wonderful things. Small dietary additions can make a big difference when it comes to overall health. And that's because the food you eat has been systematically depleted of nutrition over the last 50 and 100 years. So a piece of clove, the tiny spice with a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory property, Could transition a bland dish into a flavorful one, but also, if you just eat it, will supply your body with a burst of powerful nutrients that can keep diseases and infection at bay while also working wonders for digestive health. Yes. It is known to be a joint pain reducer, a nausea reducer. It reduces bloating. It helps with dental health trouble. Can you imagine that? Did you know that chewing just one clove can be a game changer for your health? And they're cheap. For about $10, you can get like a 5-month supply. Cloves aren't just a spice. They're a nutritional powerhouse packed with incredible benefits that have not been industrialized and processed into a powder and put in a capsule that is sold to you for pennies on the dollar. Chewing cloves in the morning can enhance production of saliva, which helps with digestion through the day. Cloves also help in reducing nausea and acidity. If you have acid reflux, don't take a Pepsid, take a clove. Cloves may protect against aging as well and make you look beautiful like Diamond. They can also be used as a cough suppressant. So, when you chew a single clove, you're not only treating your taste buds to a burst of flavor, but you're also harnessing its antimicrobial properties that can work wonders for your oral health. How about them apples? Go chew a clove now. Now we have good news. We had just partnered with the Alliance of Native Seed Keepers, a great group with the cheapest seeds in the entire world. If you're looking for non-GMO, open-pollinated, well, and heirloom seeds. And they have thousands of selections over at the website. Not only that, many of them come from North America locally, but we are about to sell out. There are currently just 196 varieties in stock. 225 have been sold out. And we want to sell them all out in the next few weeks. As we enter spring, ding dang, you need these seeds. There's only 2 left of the glass gem. They're probably going to be gone at my voice. But you can always get Market More 76. No, Boston Pickling is out. But there are Seneca cornstalk bean seeds. There are amazing selections here at the lowest prices in the entire world, basically. $2 a seed pack. Free shipping over certain thresholds. And if you buy from our link, we get 10% of all the proceeds, and you get 10% off. ORP 2024 is the coupon code for 10% off, and that comes right to the channel. That way it's a twofold. We both win. We get the support we need. You get the sustainability and the peace of mind and all heirloom vegetable seeds. They also have flower seeds and merchandise, gift cards and other things where you can hook up your friends with the gift of sustainability and preparedness. And that's a boom to knowledge. I can't think of a better gift than becoming a purchaser of the Alliance of Native Seed Keepers. And we are now a member and a purveyor of their product, which we respect wholeheartedly. With the price of everything going up, don't you want $2 a pack seeds? I do, especially non-GMO, open-pollinated, amazing seeds like these sunflower chocolate cherries that are still available. I think I'll maybe get a few 100 packs. We'll give them out at shows. Do your part. Let's sell out tonight the Alliance of Native Seed Keepers, because we're now a group. And as a caveat, the San Luis Seed Exchange is coming up March 30th and 31st in the San Luis Valley. We're going to have a booth there like we always do. We're going to be giving out free medicine. And hopefully we'll be speaking there at the event as well. So that's a boom to knowledge. Please share this video, as we are shadow banned and we need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. More importantly, go buy seeds and we get 10%. You get 10% off. ORP 2024, all caps. Be safe. And that's a boom. Go get the seeds now.